everyone. Welcome to Let's Kick It with the Joneses. I'm Maya, and where the hell is everyone? What are you guys doing?
Ted Lasso.
What?
It's a show.
Man, thank you.
Seriously?
Word?
What are we doing?
We have a show to shoot, y'all. Today we're talking about binge watching and how it has affected how we consume media.
So, grab a seat and let's kick it.
All right, so we're talking about the good and the bad of binge watching. Okay, one of our favorite pastimes in the Jones household.
It kind of is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So, what are some of you guys' favorite shows that you like to binge watch or have liked it to binge watch in the past?
I mean, well, you're kind of obvious.
Yeah.
You know, with your shirt and your mug and all that other
It
stuff.
seems like she kind of binge watches every night
Yeah.
because she watches that show like.
I think that's what
all
you
the
do with
time.
like a lot of your shows, actually.
Yeah.
I like to watch shows
Yeah, you're right.
that I'm familiar with. Because then there's no like surprises.
Yeah.
So with The Office, I will watch the entire Office series and then rewatch it. It's just because
Start from scratch.
Right.
From season 1 all the way to season, I don't even know, 8 maybe, something like that.
I don't know if this qualifies, but like how you you'll go on like HGTV
Yeah.
and watch that like all day long. Is
I
that
will.
binge watching also? I mean, it's different shows, but not technically
like
binge
Sometimes
watching.
it's not.
You can,
though.
But-
you can kind of call it binge watch. 'cause
You'll
like you
binge
said,
watch
they're all the same-
HGTV
they're all
like
kind
all
of the
day
same
long.
stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's true.
It's like a version of binging, I think.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
All right.
Some of your favorite Marcus that you binge watched in the past.
You know, it's funny because I think sitcoms are like some of the best stuff to sort of binge watch because of that sort of predictability and all of that. In terms of binge watching, I would say maybe Community
Okay.
is one that I would like binge watch. I would watch just like for seasons straight, like you know the first few seasons of that, and then go back or something. The Good Place I'm actually rewatching again and binge watching that. That's a great sitcom. So yeah, sitcoms are more so stuff I do that with, as opposed to other stuff that I like watching.
Right.
But I guess that's more so rewatching than binging. Like I'll binge One Piece, for example.
Right.
I've been binging One Piece.
Me too.
A lot, you know, because I've been trying to catch up with the arcs and stuff like that.
Same.
How about
I
you,
binge
Maya?
watched the animes. Like I binge watched One Piece. I am binge watching One Piece. I binge watched My Hero Academia too. Great show. And I also binge watch. I liked it when we collectively binge watch.
Yeah.
Like we did that for Game of Thrones.
Right.
We did.
Yes,
That
that
was-
was good.
Well, you
We
guys
did.
did.
We
Yeah.
did.
We were
Yes.
catching up with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's some of my favorite. So talking about what I because binge watching now I don't necessarily binge watch. I think the 30-minute shows are easier to binge watch than like the hour shows because you
Yeah.
can get them in a bunch of them
Oh,
at a time.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But some of my favorite in the past, because like you said with Game of Thrones, we didn't watch it at the beginning, so I loved binge watching that to catch up. And we had like maybe 2 or 3 seasons of binge watching, and I love that.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did that with Game of Thrones, and we did that with The Walking Dead
Oh yeah.
because we
I
didn't
was,
watch that at the beginning either.
I
And
was dreaming of zombies
Yeah.
when we
Yeah,
were doing
exactly.
that because we were just.
we binge watched both of those hard until we caught up, and then I was upset.
Like, dang.
So we're
we
gonna
caught
get into that. Like, what's the benefits of binge watching?
Yeah,
and how we binge
exactly.
watch? Is there any favorite like platforms that we kind of binge watch on? Because streaming is a big deal. It's a thing,
It's a
right?
big
streaming
yeah.
So
wars.
is there any specific
Particular?
one? Yeah, platform.
For
that
me,
you
nah.
like?
As long as the show's good. I don't have a particular platform. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah,
the show.
same. I mean, it's interesting because a lot of the streaming networks, it's different for each streaming service. I would say.
Yeah.
Because Netflix is more so a place where you can easily binge watch because they put out all their episodes out all at once.
Right.
As
that's
opposed
true.
to
like Hulu. they
Hulu.
put them out on they put them out like a day or
series.
two after
Yeah.
it comes out on TV.
Exactly.
So you still have
Like,
to kind of wait.
Yeah,
for
you
more
have. Yeah,
current.
exactly. Like you have Hulu. I mean, they'll put a bunch of seasons of older stuff.
Right.
But like for their newer things,
Right.
they do it episode by episode. The same with Disney Plus. They'll put it
Apple,
episode by
same
episode.
thing.
Apple, same
TV,
thing.
same
Right.
thing.
Prime sort of does the same thing. Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
But they put, if it's like a new season or something, they'll
Put
put like
three
the
or four.
first, they'll put like the first like 3 or 4
Yes,
episodes
they
out,
do.
and then they'll do it
Then-
incrementally afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the only streaming service that I actually bought because I just kind of grub off of everybody else's.
Everyone does. We all do it.
And was Discovery Plus. I love Discovery Plus. It falls in line with that HGTV that I like.
I only use it really for MythBusters.
Oh, right.
Discovery
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
really watch
wow.
it at all.
And you know, a lot of times, what on TV, you're able to binge watch shows because they do that. Like you do that with SVU,
What in terms
right?
of
Like watching a whole, like just keep watching continuously on TV.
Oh, you talking about like on different
SVU.
channels?
Yeah,
like they'll
yeah.
have where they
They
run
just
it.
run, they run.
Oh,
the
like
shows.
USA
Oh,
runs
yeah.
like they do
SVU
marathons.
syndication.
Oh, that's what it is.
They do marathon.
That's what I meant to say.
Oh yeah.
Marathon is the original binge watch.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think
agree.
back
I
the
agree.
original like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day
Oh yeah.
with
Twilight
Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the original binge watch.
That is.
Right.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, it
And
is.
so I mean, you watch that. We'll watch that all day long.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's an all day thing.
I think the difference with the TV and the streaming services is that you don't have control of what
No.
you binge watch.
No,
Yeah.
You don't.
You know, with streaming you have control.
Yes.
TV you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
So, what are some of the benefits do you think of binge watching? What are some of the pluses? You think?
Getting a show or finishing up a show all in one sitting would be one. I would assume.
Not
Catching.
having to wait till the next week.
Exactly.
Right. Catching up on shows. So like we were saying with Game of Thrones, we caught up to it. So I think that's something, that's a benefit of binge watching. And then
Right.
Yeah.
like you were talking about The Walking Dead and how we were dreaming of zombies.
Yeah.
I think it really gives you a good sense of the character development much quicker. So
I think so too. I think you're
true.
right. When you watch all of the episodes of a show,
right.
like you really understand what's going on with the show more so than waiting week to week.
Yes.
Right.
To because you think about other things, whatever, and you get back
Yeah.
into it, and then you
Right.
get out of it. When you binge watch a show, you really see the nuances
Right.
of a show.
And the
You'll
progression.
understand what happened,
Right.
especially if it's like if you're behind like seasons. You'll understand moments that happened in one season that a
More
person might have
so.
totally
Right.
forgot
Right.
because it's like,
Exactly.
wow, I watched
Exactly.
that 2-3 years ago. I didn't
Right.
even realize that was a thing.
Right.
Right.
Which is especially helpful for
It's
something like
fresh.
Game of Thrones.
Right. And I was going to say The Wire. Because
Yeah.
we've done that
Oh,
too.
yeah.
We've like
Yep, we
rewatch
have.
and
Right.
kind of binge watch The Wire
Oh, yeah, we've
again.
done that, yeah.
For sure.
And you really get to see after you watch the shows back to back to back.
Right.
To back.
Right. You get to really get
How they
into
really
it.
tie
How they
into
really
each
tie
other.
in,
Right.
yeah, from
Little
season to
things,
season.
right? Little
Right.
things that you forgot all about.
Right.
Yeah.
You're kind of living with the characters low key.
Right, exactly. How long do you think like the benefits of it in being like a good distraction? What do you think is a good time to spend binge watching a show?
That's a good question.
I mean, it all depends on you and the time you got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
That's personal to you.
If you have a vacation or
Yeah,
if you have
right.
like a broken leg and you're stuck at home.
Yeah.
Or not?
Or not.
Or not.
Or not.
You may have to get them to go to work. You be up at 1:00 in the morning finishing up the show.
Jeremiah and I will be like, okay, one more.
Right, one more.
One more.
One more show.
Oh, I've done that very much so.
All right, I'm gonna
When
watch
it's
this
like-
last one,
Right.
Yeah.
but then that last one is great. You want to find out what happened in the next
Oh,
one.
it's the
Exactly,
worst.
exactly.
I have stayed up when I'm not supposed to stay up. I gotta be at work at 4, and I'm watching an episode just like, let me just finish this off.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
I
bad.
did that with some anime. I did that for Ted Lasso. I remember. I like ran through that.
Yeah,
wow.
it's
like,
easy too,
quick.
right?
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Binge watching is just, I love binge watching.
love it.
I love it.
Me too.
You know what? It's good for, I think, as a family, we like to binge watch.
Yeah, it's a nice family
You know?
activity
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Or you could do it on your own.
So what's interesting about streaming services and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's mostly how we sort of binge things. But you guys were talking before about cable, right? You know, binge watching or marathoning cable. And I think it's interesting how there's sort of like this sort of like versus battle going on with streaming and cable, right? Because
Versus.
you have cable, which you have all these plans, and you might have channels that you don't want, and alternatively, you can have streaming services that are cheaper, basically, but at the same time, because all these networks and companies have all different types of streaming services, and you want to watch different things on different streaming services, you got to pay for more. So then it's like, is it actually more? Is it actually cheaper at that point? Because I have several. I have Disney Plus. I have Hulu. I have HBO Max. I have Paramount Plus.
It's going to get to the point where it's the same amount as cable.
Basically.
Right, by the time you keep adding them all up.
Because everybody is going to have a platform.
Right.
Everyone has a platform.
Every channel.
Every channel.
I don't have Peacock. I don't need Peacock.
You don't have Peacock? I might get Peacock.
Yet, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep.
Peacock.
We have that on Apple TV.
We do. We have it on Apple TV. Yeah, thank you, Jeremiah.
So but that's what I'm saying. A lot of the streaming services have different things for different people, and I like to watch a bunch of different shows.
Right.
So, I didn't even mention the anime streaming services.
Funimation. I just got a Funimation account.
Funimation and Crunchyroll.
Why didn't you use his?
Because I can't do
the way it's set up.
The way it's set up.
Yeah.
They got smart.
Funimation, it's a little...
not big on the app,
Yeah.
But it has a lot of good content. So.
Right.
Okay, got it.
But so I have, all those too, so it adds up.
It does add up. And cable is expensive though, but you're also getting your internet with cable too, so that kind of adds, I think, to it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have to get that.
But a lot of people, what they do is they'll get the Wi-Fi, like my roommates, they'll get the Wi-Fi and then they'll get a Fire Stick.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So what are some of the downsides of binging? Okay, what would you consider?
Your time being consumed, kind of.
That's the most.
Yeah.
It could be because, like you guys said, I'll binge watch whatever. I'll binge watch on Netflix. I'll binge watch on YouTube. I'll look out the window and see the sun come up and be like,
You're right. We didn't even talk about YouTube. So people do binge watch on YouTube.
I had my nights where I've
going through YouTube.
done that.
Yes.
You know
100%.
what? You should binge watch Let's Kick It with the Joneses.
Yes.
I see what
See
you
how I
did
did
there.
that?
I like
See how
that.
did
I like that.
Right?
We got plenty of episodes
That's
on the
right.
YouTube
We
channel.
Do
That's
you can
right.
binge us?
You
All
can
on
totally
YouTubes.
binge up. All on YouTubes.
You know what I think? One of the downsides of binge watching is the level of depression you have when you're done.
After you caught up.
After you're caught up and you're like,
That's a bad feeling.
It really is.
It's like I really gotta wait till next week, or it's over.
Right, or it's over. Right.
Yeah.
Or it's over, especially when it's over. I don't finish shows just because it's like, dang, when I finish it, it's done.
It's
And there's gonna be no
You gotta
more.
wait, for 2 years or whatever the case, if they're coming back.
Like with
You
Game
know,
of Thrones, where you had to wait all those
3 years between each season or something crazy.
Or I was binging Attack on Titan, and then I finally caught up, and then it was like, oh, the animation isn't done, and it's gonna be another like several years, and they're switching anime studios and all this other stuff. Not now. I'm saying when I was catching up at the time.
Easy.
It's good. It's
Okay.
fine.
I felt some
It's
type
fine.
of way.
It's fine. It's fine. Attack on Titan will be back soon. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I'll
But
live.
but I think also one of the downsides, and I guess maybe this is more of a personal thing to me, is that I do kind of miss I do like week by week because you can talk
The
about it.
conversation.
The water cooler conversations.
Oh,
You know.
That's true.
That's why I liked watching Game of Thrones with my friends.
Yeah.
Then we could talk about
that was
stuff
a major
and
thing
theories
with
and
Game
all
of
that
Thrones.
stuff. A lot of that stuff is fun. It's fun
Them
doing that with the
Thrones.
Marvel shows.
Right. You know what's interesting about, like you said, the conversation when they release like one at a time? There's like an agreement with people who watch these shows not to talk about it until they watch it.
Yeah.
Like spoilers are a real thing.
Oh,
People
frown.
like
Yeah, no. People
really
get mad if
and
spoilers.
people are okay with that. Like I have some friends at work and we're watching the same show and she's like, "Oh, we won't talk about it until you watch it."
Yeah.
Respect the rules.
Right.
Respect the rules. It is a unspoken,
Right,
just
yeah.
like
And it's cool too.
It's
Also,
interesting.
not also, but when you can get into a group thing like on Facebook, like they have the groups, like say you watch Insecure, they have the Insecure group, and it's cool to listen to other people's points of view on, on what they think, and
Right.
you know,
It's
that's
fun.
That's pretty fun too.
So there is some good
And
so
it-
shows coming out like you said.
Yeah, and I
once
think-
a week or whatever.
And I think another, just one more real quick downside to the whole binge model, and I guess this has more to do with a Netflix
Yeah.
more than anything, is that they kind of just dump episodes out,
Right.
and then no one talks about it afterwards. Like, it'll be on there,
you're
and
right.
people will talk about it, then all of a sudden silence.
Yeah.
And I think that's, and I think
The conversation is.
the conversation just kind of, the conversation just sort of dissipates.
Yeah,
Like
well-
a show is hot for a second,
Right.
and then, it's off because Netflix has to put up another show to keep its I guess, I don't know if it's the algorithm is the right word, but basically it just continuously churns out content.
Yeah.
And there's a whole quantity versus quality thing. Like, you could
Right.
put out a really good show, and then it gets buried because
There's
they have
too
to
much stuff.
put out more stuff, and it's a lot.
That's
That's interesting.
as far as Netflix, it's a good bad sort of thing, like you said, because they do put out a lot of quantity, a lot of content. Some of it good, but who's to say somebody else doesn't like that? So
Yeah.
they put out a lot of stuff so they can please a lot of different people.
Yeah.
Because everybody doesn't like the same things.
No, definitely.
know?
I just don't like the fact that it gets like certain good stuff
get
just
buried.
gets
It's
buried.
buried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you
Absolutely.
really got to check it out. You really got to go through and see what's
Right.
And,
what.
and that's I do like Netflix for that. Like I just and somebody will tell me, oh, watch this or watch that. Oh, it's on Netflix. Like I just watched My Unorthodox Life.
Oh yes.
And I binged the whole thing, and it was interesting.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have really looked at it,
Yeah.
Right.
So it was nice.
And you might
just
not
to-
have seen that. You probably wouldn't have seen that
Right.
without a Netflix more
Yeah.
so.
Right, and I watch anything on Netflix.
Yeah. It can be a little overwhelming though. Sometimes I get on there and I'm like,
so
"Ooh,
much stuff.
There's so much
oh
stuff.
my! Sometimes it'll take me a whole 30 minutes just to
to go
figure
through
out
it.
what to watch.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
do
true.
I want to watch this? Do I want to watch that?
That's so true.
It can be a little overwhelming
Yeah.
sometimes.
So is the binge watching culture? Do you think different from TV culture in general?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, you take it back to when we were coming up.
Oh, please.
Yeah. First of all, you only had
like 5 channels.
Yeah,
Right.
you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe.
And we
If
were
you-
talking about this the other day.
That's right.
If you had to be home at a certain time to watch a show,
That's right.
or you didn't see
didn't
it till the
see
next
it.
week. There was no DVRing.
You
binging,
missed that episode.
Or you missed that episode. You will never see it again.
Right.
You will never see that episode again. They didn't really. If it was a
Reruns.
new show, they weren't really running reruns of shows.
Yeah.
The shows that were coming out at the time.
Yeah.
television.
Okay, yeah.
No, they weren't running reruns.
Right.
You'll never see that show
You
again.
didn't see it again.
So I mean,
You have to
Kids
wait
don't
another
know.
15, 20 years.
Right.
yeah, right. I see that show again.
Exactly.
And we were fine with that.
No.
They
What
have-
it's like.
No,
They have
they
no
don't.
idea.
They
have no idea.
We're definitely more spoiled now.
No,
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's like I forget. It's like because we had that that time to
Mhm, a
where
little bit,
like
yeah.
if you missed it on TV, it's like when is it coming on? You
Oh,
gotta look at
Saturday-
the TV guide.
Yo,
Like,
if you
gotta,
were
like-
busy on a Saturday morning and you didn't catch your cartoon, you were
Oh,
were
yeah.
like you were out of the loop.
You were out
You
of
go
the
you
loop.
go into the next Saturday and it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
I missed it, and
It's
there's
so
no way to
true.
catch up on it
It's so
again.
true.
There really
yeah.
was no way to.
So yeah, it's
Watch
different. It's
every
definitely a
morning.
It's
difference.
very
So
different.
crazy.
Which is cool. I mean, that's technology. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it
saying?
is. It is. So we want to know what you guys are binge watching.
Yes.
What are
Yeah.
you watching out there? Give us some, give us some recommendations because we
Absolutely.
love, right,
To binge watch.
to binge watch.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah.
Right, definitely. Check us out. Let's continue this conversation on our social media. We have Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and we also have YouTube.
Yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell to get notified whenever we put out new videos. Thank you. So check all that stuff out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Binge watch, let's kick it. Binge watch.
That's
Please.
right. That's
Binge
right.
watch our show.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Let's kick it with the Joneses.
Spotting you part of the squad. Let's kick it.